new items added.
And I know you have a date here of January 14th on, to postpone the adoption of the ordinance that was already published, but I do want to state that I know that we have two newly elected officials, and that week I was going to ask or get consensus that we change that week of the meeting, so we'll have what I'm recommending is, and I know it's not on the agenda, but, I'll get with you guys, but recommend that we have our council meeting on the third and fourth Wednesday, just so these individuals can go for that training, because it's an all week training.
Are you talking about the Molly training?
Yeah, the Molly and the newly elected, yeah. So I guess, Mr. Attorney, I know you've had an opportunity to work through this. Do you have any comments to that, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, I stand for any questions that you all might have. Counselor Henry brought up some valid points. We looked at the Fair Housing Act. It is pretty strict. I think it provides for variations. I think we've hit those variations. We've provided reasonable accommodations to not only individuals who may be suffering from substance abuse, but any individual, by allowing them alternatives to the Fair Housing Act. And so to sit here and tell you that this ordinance is 100% and it'll never get challenged and it's 100% going to win in a court of law, that would be absurd. I wouldn't want to tell you that. What I want to tell you is I think we've done the best we can in coordination with city staff to ensure that we're complying with the Human Rights Act, that we're complying with the Fair Housing Act, that we're complying with any applicable state law, that we're providing reasonable accommodations, that we're providing individuals with multiple opportunities to open this type of business. I think we've done the best we can. And, I appreciate the staff. I appreciate the community. They've given us a lot of input to the point where we agreed with some of the input, and we thought, okay, we need to change this language and ensure that, it's appropriate. And so I think it's at a point where I would love to certainly put in 1,000 definitions and define everything. There are alternative definitions in, Department of Health. There's alternative definitions we can look elsewhere. We reference that in the ordinance. We allow for further definition if needed, right? So I think we've done the best we can. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect ever. We would like to hope it would be. And it's a living document. So even after adoption, it's not set in stone that cannot be amended. It's not set in stone that things might occur in the future that we need to consider amendments, right? But I think it's at a point where it's at least adoptable and we can continue on that way.
Counselor, is any ordinance in the community in the city of Las Vegas challengeable?
It is.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I get that point out there. They're all challengeable. This is a viable ordinance. I think some of these things have already been vetted through other communities, through other attorneys. I think we got a solid ordinance, and I think we can move forward with this.
And I will mention, counselors, I certainly don't want to get into a back and forth on certain responses, but we have reached out to other municipalities and municipalities that have adopted this exact type of ordinance to see what the legal challenges, if any, have there been. We haven't received any feedback on that. So it's not to say it can't happen. We certainly are prepared to defend the city if that's the case. And again, I think it would be absolutely absurd for me to say, if this is ever challenged, we're going to win, don't worry, because that's just not the way world works, right?
Before I ask questions, just for the record, recommendation by community development is what you have before us, and you concur as legal?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Counselor Scott.
Counselor, if I may, Mr. Scott. I am a city employee in the Community Development Department. I've anguished over what I'm going to say. I'm going to kind of step down from that city employee at this time. I have an adopted 21-year-old son that I'm guardian of, and he is in a group home in Albuquerque. Saturday, we received a letter from the New Mexico Health Department. informing us that there was an incident at the home in June. That home never contacted us. We knew nothing about this until we got a letter from the health department 6 months later. Yes, this home's licensed. Thank goodness it's licensed because the health department did a surprise inspection. That's one of the reasons I am so in favor of this ordinance, is because these people will have to come to the city and get permission to locate where they locate. At that point, we have to know whether they're licensed or not. I can assure you that research that I've done, if I'd have known this subject was going to come up, I believe the last time we looked, the state said there were probably 16 boarding homes in Las Vegas and 3 were licensed. That's a problem. We talked about family with Councilor Montoya this evening. Family is important, and we need to know our family is protected. Every person in one of those homes is somebody's child. And we need to make sure that what's happening in those homes is happening the way it should, that those people are protected. And in my opinion, this is a major step in getting there. Because as it says, if they get a conditional use permit and they violate that permit, it's going to be yanked. And we have got to ensure the safety of the people in these homes. Thank you.
Councilor Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Laszlo Henry had sent me a brief email with language that she had suggested to be added to the document. Did you review that? I sent it to Lucas and also to our legal counsel.
And I reviewed it, ma'am, and the way it would look to me is that that would also fall with the licensing part. Because it's asking for fees, and that would help us probably put that together like the way Ms. Laszlo Henry described it. And I'm gonna sit down and talk with her some more, because I wanna get more input on what she has going, because she's very passionate about this.
The other thing is, the way the agenda reads kind of gives me a little bit of heartburn, because it says, to request approval to postpone, I'm fine with that. And then to request to republish the ordinance with revisions. I would like to see all the revisions first in final form, not a draft like this. I don't, I'm fine with postponing it, but I don't think that we should publish it quite yet. We need to take another look at it so that we can read it where there are no errors and we know what we're reading. And I mean, we're gonna wait till January anyway. I don't think another come in the latter meeting in January instead. And my comments there.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I may, Counselor Casey, that was upon my recommendation. And the reason I asked that they remain in red was that so the council could see exactly what the changes were. But
I think that we should be voting on it when it still has mistakes in it, is my problem.
okay, so it's not the red letter, just
The red
mistakes.
lettering,
Gotcha.
just the mistakes that are in it, yeah.
I mean, we can fix the mistakes, ma'am. I've been catching them myself as I was looking at them too. So we can fix those mistakes. They're minor errors.
And I guess just for awareness, this is only for publishing. The final one will still be brought upon.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. Councilors?
Mr. Mayor. So are those errors that you're talking about that critical right now? Or can they be adjusted in today's meeting?
Yeah, there's a misspelling on one of the words, instead of saying the word treatment, that just says the word treat, so we could put the MENT at the end and fix it. We still have everything on Word, so
Okay,
we could make those adjustments.
that's just a minor adjustment of one word. And I know we're still in public hearing, but when we come out of public hearing, Mr. City Attorney, we can't make a motion with that adjustment to the ordinance to publish it,
You could.
no? Okay,
If you made a motion, you can make a motion to publish with the amendment with, I'm sorry, with the correction in grammar and, yeah, sure. Now, if it was I don't mean to cut you off, Counselor, I certainly apologize. If it was a substantive change, delete a section or add this entire section, I would probably recommend not making the motion to approve with an amendment and then coming back, but a minor change like that, I think is okay with the motion.
and then my follow-up question is, so are you gonna have any more meetings or that's it?
This would be it, sir.
This would be it?
Yes, sir.
So just publication and then come back to mayor and council?
So, Ms. Cassandra, could you go ahead?
Mr. Mayor,
Right, There'll
council,
be one more.
counselors, so they would come back for another public hearing when, along with the adoption of it,
Not for any type of.
not public meetings.
Minimal alterations to the document itself.
Yeah, other than today's motion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just point of clarification. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, I'd like to get out of public hearing and going to regular session at this time.
Motion by Councilman Montoya, second by Councilor Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari,
Yes.
Counselor Montoya,
Yes.
Counselor Casey, Counselor Martinez. I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Pleasure of the governing body.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Montoya.
I move that we go ahead and approve the request to postpone the adopted of the ordinance number 25-05 to the January 14th, 2025 city
09.
council meeting.
Sorry, Counselor 09-25-09.
To the third meeting, third week,
The number of the ordinance is 09.
09.
Thank you.
Okay. Due to substance amendments and republished ordinance number 2509 with revisions, including the two revisions that were mentioned by staff. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Did you get those two corrections? Treatment. and
Treatment.
What was the other one?
I'm not sure about the other ones.
Mayor, and the date.
Just the treatment and then that's it. That's it, sir. Just treatment.
Did that motion include to republish?
Republished ordinance number 2509 with various revisions, and he included the revision of treatment instead of treatments.
Treatment, yeah.
Yeah.
The word treatment. will be
Treatment.
Corrected.
And Mr. Mayor, can I just, we're requesting the right date on this? And
So right now, right now I have a motion with the date of January 14th. I will note that January 14th, we're probably gonna go ahead and move that to postpone it to another meeting based off of the consensus of the availability of all the counselors. So I wouldn't I would just maybe ask that just a meeting in January. If that's-
Mr. Mayor, and you can say January 14th and we can reschedule the public hearing and I will put a notice out that it's been
Okay, so it's fine.
rescheduled.
So it's fine like that then. So current motion stands. Am I fair in saying that, Mr. Attorney, the way he's? Okay.
Procedure seems perfect.
So I have a motion by Councilman Montoya. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman
Mr. Mayor.
Martinez.
I won't be here for this action next month, but you know what? I want to thank staff and the people that were involved in the discussions. I think this is important. I think that, no, we do have to have policies and procedures. We do have to have safety for our public as well as for residents and for the institutions that come into Las Vegas and so forth. I think that, like the attorneys advised us, this is a working document. It can always be brought back at any given time for amendments or changes, or, if anybody opposes or if anything that we did wrong or didn't do it right, can come back for changes down the road, like any other ordinance. Circumstances do change, and at that time, we'll deal with those changes also. Well, thank you for working on this. Thank you very much.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Martinez,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
No.
Counselor Montoya, Counselor Olivari.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Moving on to our next business item, request approval of a contract between the City of Las Vegas and Novo Solutions. We have our city manager, Mr. Robert A. Anaya.
Mayor and council, I would just like to say we've gone through a process internally, and I'm gonna defer to Ms. Ludi and Mr. Seiss to speak to that process. We have a recommendation for this software solution that'll help us in many ways, but I'll defer to Ms. Ludi. Hello, Ms. Ludi.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So our goal with this was to improve the process for handling requests and complaints that come to the city. Currently, these come in through phone calls, individual conversations, emails, texts. And we needed a better way to track these and make sure that they're completed. And so we were trying to find something that would be a comprehensive solution that would better suit our needs than the current solution that we have, which is MyCivic, which is only for citizen engagement. And so we were trying to loop in all of our departments and be able to track the things that we are working on. Do you want to talk about the process?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. So we had many working groups, collaborative sessions that included smaller groups, and then we included all the directors. We had scheduled demos from MyCivic, TextMyGov, and Novo Solutions. And in those meetings, that's where we went through the discussion and the usability, as well as the citizen portal, which also allows for the citizen engagement. So if a resident has a complaint, they can upload this work ticket and it can be tracked through the entire process, from the initial engagement to the quality control process. And we can upload pictures. It'll automatically send a notification to the resident, letting them know the situation or their concern has been addressed and how it has been concerned.
And so in addition to work order management, there's also asset management. And so there's like our roads, our facilities, our fleet, signage, things like that. All of those things can be tracked. We can look at the age of the infrastructure and track when it needs to be replaced, when it needs repairs. We can create tickets based on those. We can also capture labor and materials costs per work order. There's also a code enforcement piece. So if we can upload our ordinances, and if there's violations, then letters can be issued out of that, and it actually builds the letter for you and it references the ordinance. There's also a lot of analytics and reporting that we can pull out of there, as well as dashboards. So we can track costs, trends, and all of that will help with decision making. The system is very customizable, so it's very usable out of the box, but we'll be able to customize it for our needs. And then I don't want to speak for you, but as you spoke with other municipalities that have implemented this, they had a lot of really good things to say, including their customer support. And so we would have a lot of support through the implementation process, as well as when this would be operationalized.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I would just add that this system doesn't replace one-to-one contact with our teams and our individual employees throughout the city. This is a tool and a resource that will track everything that we do and implement data that we could work on and work and build upon and improve upon our systems and workflows internally, but it's also data sets that will come to mayor and council associated with their particular ward, what's happened in their ward, what requests are pending, where are they at, are they done, are they not done, who's doing them, what is the status? So It, like I said, it doesn't replace the one-to-one contact, but it does augment information and data sets so that we have more information on what we're doing citywide and the what, where, when, how, and why, and also those tools with cost and asset inventory are also very helpful. So that's what I would add.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Martinez.
So I'm kind of thinking about what you're talking about and, how this process could work. I kind of see a couple of good benefits, when you start talking about wards. And, just for example, any street in our community, if it's a street that's in my ward, that I serve, and you put a dollar amount to repairs to a street, basically it's telling you to replace the asphalt of that street, you know what I mean? So I see a lot of good with that. Now, I don't know if this kind of a software would also work and benefit to help, offset crime. I don't know. I'm just thinking that on top of my head. I'm thinking that as far as target areas and problem areas in our community and what we need to do and how do we fix, if you get so many complaints here, well, what do we do? You did mention the piece that mentioned, code enforcement and so forth. So I guess this tool can be used in several different manners. Okay, so I'm just, it sounds like something I'd be interested in at least. I think we should look at it, definitely. And if it's gonna help us, we're the beneficiaries of this program at the end because it'll be helpful. It's a big tool. You said equipment, not only streets and so forth, but equipment for our community that we provide services with every day, tracking, trash trucks that are out there in the community, a grader, anything that needs. Sounds like a very useful tool, and I think, if I guess it could be used in all those fashions, I think it's a great tool.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Martinez, I spent a large amount of my career in housing authority management and multi and single family housing management. This resource is not very different than a structured work order type system that not only tracks your overall work progress, but allocates the resources that you're investing in each individual area or respective project. So it would in fact cover allocating what we spent in streets, what we're allocating in dealing with any other water line breaks. It covers the whole gamut of the city and provides fixed data sets, right, that are rolled up in a comprehensive manner. And so we're going to learn from it, and we're going to have to build upon it. It's not going to be the be all end all. It's not going to replace people, but it will be a mechanism for us to provide data, information, costs as we make decisions oriented around budgets, oriented around areas of need. And so that's, I think you're right on point with your questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilor Casey?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Trying to look for the page where I had the question. It says one-time fee for configuration and implementation and all that, and then there was another fee for the annual fee of 18,400. So those two added together come up to the total fiscal impact of 24,300. Okay. Then thank you. The question that I have, I'm always concerned about how I think it sounds like a wonderful program, but does it include training for residents that want to, use this to submit requests? Because right now, they can't even find the city council meetings on the website. And so I have to tell them, go to the city website, it's lasvegasnm.gov, and then I have to do step by step with them. And so I am concerned, people want to participate and be able to make requests directly to the city, but they can't maneuver the system. So I'm just concerned about how this will work so that people can actually use it instead of getting frustrated and saying, forget it, I'm not gonna even bother. So those are the kinds of questions that I have in my mind because I get so many phone calls like that. I mean, on a regular basis. So how would that work and how will they get trained to learn how to use it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question. So when we did receive the demo, they did give us the basic layout of their citizen portal, and it is completely customizable. We can make it as generic as we would like or add to it. We can also there will be a city link as well as you can download the app for Android or Apple software. And then if the request to fill it out online is too hard, we've already talked about making how-tos, where to go on the city website, how to access the link, how to access the service request portion for their concern. And if they are unable due to not having a computer assets or software on their phone, they can contact the city and then we can input the request for them.
I was just gonna say, took a while to get there, but you did a good job getting there. The bottom line is that, and I dealt with this in the housing authorities, is that those individuals that need assistance, we will assist, our staff will assist in inputting the work orders into the process chain so that they're able to get the work into the system. And so what we're doing now is we have an array of tracking systems that can be different department by department. This rolls up that information into one comprehensive unit. Is that accurate, Ms. Ludi?
My question really is more of, does this program, I don't know what it is.
Software.
Yeah, software provide like a step-by-step tutorial that somebody that can actually find it on the website where it says, okay, step 1 to make a request, do blah, 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 click on this. Does it do that or not? Can you program it to do that?
Thank you, Councilor Casey. I'm not sure that it has it built in automatically, but we can customize it and either work with the vendor to have them develop that information, or we can develop it ourselves. And then I think the big part will be the communication from the city to our citizens.
I think that's something that to me is a concern because I think it's wonderful to, monitor vehicle inventory and all those other things that it does. But the people out there need to benefit from this too. And I would like to see them be able to use it without getting frustrated and saying, ooh, forget it. Now it's even harder to get anybody at the city than it was before. And I don't want that to happen. I want this to be a successful way for people to feel confident that they can contact whatever department they want to contact or make a request for filling the pothole or whatever it is. And is there any way that if there's an emergency that they could use this or not? Like, let's say that somebody's water line broke or they can smell a gas leak in their house. Can they report it and get a response right away or not?
Yes, ma'am. So in the case, if there is a water leak, they can isolate where the leak is and they can draw a graph of
That's not what I mean. Will the people be able to report it and get a response right away?
If I may, it depends on how we implement and adopt it. For a gas leak, that's a kind of a major emergency that shouldn't go through a ticketing system like this. And it should probably, I believe the process would be reporting it to 911.
Okay.
And then for water leaks, I think there's some procedural things we need to discuss across departments. And so discuss with the water department, what is the best way to report a water leak so that it is responded to quickly? Because otherwise people will have to have eyes on this system at all times. And if that's the process, that's fine. We just need to make sure we agree on it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So she kind of asked a couple questions that, and I'll tie it into my question. When you talk about customization of, and I don't know if it's dashboards or how it may be, I think that's important on response time and, depending on what's reported, right? But what I want to add to my question is there an opportunity to create a dashboard or however reporting system where, we as a governing body now can, and I know each one of us probably has our list of to-dos to the city manager. So we put that list, it's tracked. So when we come and we meet with the city manager, we don't have to pull our notebooks out from, and I'm going, with managers in the past and things like that. I know Councilman Ulibarri has a book from years and years of requests. But I guess this question would be is now we don't have to bring that documentation. We could just come meet with him. He pulls it up. It's dated. Okay, well, we're on step A, we're on step B. That was taken care of. Is that kind of what we're looking at even for us as a governing body that we could report instead of?
Yes, that is correct. And in fact, as we, if this is approved, as we move toward implementation, getting a list of everything that, leadership would like to see would be very helpful so that we're building it into the system right away and not kind of coming back later and making edits.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. You know what, on the audience, we have a gentleman by the name of Igor Stanchevich from Croatia. And he works in management for General Mills. This company makes cereals, candy bars, you name it. Right now, they have 2 projects across 20 countries that they're working on worldwide. He works from home, and others in this company work from home, but they communicate because they have programs such as this one. This proposal is the most basic of them all. CMMS, Computerized Maintenance Management System. The fundamental elements that the city should have. It's important to be able to communicate. And like the mayor said, the city manager gets bombarded. Not with 4, you're going to be getting bombarded with 8 people pretty soon. How you handle that? This system, you wouldn't even have to come and see the city manager. It's all putting it in. He would respond. The directors will respond when the project's got completed and the whole works. It's a right hand to everybody. And as far as our constituents, those that really care, they will learn how to use it. They learned how to use the other one that we had, what was it, 311 system? And now we have another system with a PD that I think that we're paying for.
My Civic is the other one, and then First Due.
Okay. Well, anyway, the thing is that this is a tool, another additional tool for the whole community, the whole city to just invest in. It will save time, it will save money. And if there's no further discussion, Mr. Mayor, I'm just going to cut it short and move that we approve of this contract between City of Las Vegas and Novo Solutions, and I'm glad it doesn't say Nova. It's Novo instead. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Montoya, second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez? A motion by Counselor Montoya, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Next item, request approval of resolution number 2555, accepting a match waiver in the amount of $21,523 through the New Mexico Department of Transportation Match Waiver Program for project number L400725, awarded for Ridge Runner Road Reconstruction Project. We have our Public Works Director,
Counselor
Mr.
Casey.
Arnold Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we approve resolution number 2255, accepting the match waiver amount of $21,523 with the New Mexico Department of Transportation match waiver program for project number L 400725, awarded for Rich Renner Road reconstruction project.
Second by Counselor Casey, second by Councilman Montoya. Roll call.
Counselor Casey, Counselor Martinez,
Yes.
Counselor Olivari, Counselor Montoya. I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Montoya. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Quick note, Mr. Lopez, thank you and your staff for applying for this funding. You know, we met up there a couple of times in the last, 8 months? And I'm glad this is finally getting done. We have like probably 300 residents and people from surrounding areas that work in that area that go in and out to different departments that are stationed in that area. And I'm glad that you addressed it in a timely manner and that it's gonna get done. Thank you, Councilor Casey.
Moving on to item number 5, requested approval of resolution number 2556, accepting a match waiver in the amount of $77,895.25 through the New Mexico Department of Transportation match waiver program for project number LP 40071, awarded for Commerce Street reconstruction project.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor Casey.
I move approval of resolution 2556, accepting the match waiver in the amount of $77,895.25.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
A motion by Counselor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Montoya,
Yes.
Counselor Martinez,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Olivari.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to number 6, request approval to accept the amended grant language from the New Mexico Department of Transportation Aviation Department for the game fencing project. Mr. Lopez.
Counselors. Okay, I guess. Mr. Arnold Lopez.
Yes, please. Thank you for that opportunity, Mayor and Council. This one's a little bit more complicated. So, initially when we had the issues of aircraft hitting elk out there at the facility, on the runway, we took it very seriously and we took action immediately. I reached out to Game and Fish first of all and requested, is there any opportunity for you guys providing a game fence, for protection of aircraft and more importantly, human life? And they were unable to finance that request. So we acted further and we went out to both federal aviation and state aviation. So we applied for 2 opportunities of grants from each one, okay? So, we were so fortunate that both of them funded us. And so we went with the federal side of it to fund the project entirely with small, matches from the city and from the state. So we selected to go with the federal aviation for funding. So we took the step a little bit further and we reached out to the state side of it and the fact that we were already granted but didn't need it. We requested if we could utilize it within the airport, property and operation for additional things needed out there. And we were fortunate enough that they approved that. Okay, so now this agreement is an amendment to read a little bit different. And what it's gonna read, as you can see there, is it starts off, the City of Las Vegas Municipal Airport is requesting an amendment to the grant agreement awarded for the design and construction of the game proof property fence. The original grant agreement was fully funded by NMDOT, Aviation Division, for the intention of plan, design, and construct of the game fence. However, due to recent funding developments, the original funding source was changed from the New Mexico Aviation to a Federal Aviation, committing to fund the entire project. The city has, accepted a grant agreement from the federal side in the amount of $1,069,699. Okay, the amount previously allocated by NMDOT, State Aviation under the grant was 1.3 million or 46,796. So, that's basically where we're at, and they did approve it, and what we plan on doing out there is redoing our fuel farm. You know, it's antiquated, it is in dire need of upgrading the entire fuel system out there. So that's one of the purchases that we're gonna do. Another one is a fuel truck and able to, fuel aircraft as well. Our fuel truck is very old. Half the time it doesn't work. We put a lot of money into it, so in dire need of replacement. Some snow removal equipment and some more, mowing equipment for maintenance of the airport. And then depending on what those amounts come in at, we will hopefully have additional money. The balance that we have that we can spend is 1.3 million. So that is $1,302,135 is available to us for additional needs out there at the airport. So that's basically the amendment, and I stand for questions.
Councilor Casey.
This is for Mr. Madrid. Do we have the 10% matching funds available?
Yes, we do, Counselor.
Okay. If there aren't any, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
If I may, Mayor and Council, so the city's match is a 1% match. Just for the record.
Councilor Casey, do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Montoya, and you had a question?
You know what, Mr. Mayor, this went before the airport committee various times. We saw the needs and the problems that they had sweeping the runways and also with the fuel system. And it was always down, and I was having to call somebody from out of the city limits to come and fix them and stuff like that. We all know what happened to the accident about the elk running into the runway and so forth. So, Mr. Lopez did not hesitate on doing what he had to do on applying for this funding. I think this is a win-win situation, and it's just for public safety and the safety of our investments at the airport, and for us to keep up the airport. I mean, we've done a lot of things at the airport this last years, put in new lighting, new signage, the whole works. I mean, I think the only thing left there is probably be renovating the old, that old hangar? But you guys will deal with that down the road. But this is a good thing. Thank you, Madam Casey, for making the motion.
Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Casey? Counselor Martinez? I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Montoya. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, may I just make another comment? I just would like to report that the game fence is currently probably about 35% complete. The project is moving pretty fast, and we've secured, a good portion of it already. And then if I may, just offer, for Public Works, thank you to Councilman Montoya for always supporting our projects and staff and not just supporting projects in your ward, but citywide, and that goes for all council. But thank you, and we appreciate what you've done for us. Thank you.
And I'm just gonna make a little comment. I know we've been here a long time, but I'm gonna call you Arnold Moneybag Lopez. You seem to always get money, so.
Moving on to the next item. Request approval for the water tank project task order number 3958-23-3. Compensation for engineering design services during the design phase in the amount of a lump sum of $1,153,483.10. And that's including the New Mexico GRT. We have our water director, Mr. Travis Martinez.
Mayor, Council, we submit this task order for consideration of approval under contract 3958-23 between City of Las Vegas and Moles and Corbin for professional engineering associated with the water tank project as authorized under the agreement of engineering services This task order formally incorporates the following cost proposals and scope examinations for planning design phases. And your guys' packet, attachment one is planning services scope of work, and attachment two is the design services scope of work. The way the compensation structure works is a lump sum of 825,600 not to exceed, with an additional lump sum of engineering services that is not to exceed 70,000, and that's gonna be for topographic survey and aerial imagery. Standard hourly rates with maximum NTEs, and you're gonna have your geotechnical report and soil testing, that's 56,000. Grant funding, application assistance that they're gonna be providing is 15,000. 50,000 for easement surveys, I'm sorry. Estimated 6 properties are gonna have to do in this project, with an additional 50,000 subsurface utility engineering. Subtotal engineering costs 1,066,600, with total NMGRTs at 8.1458%, comes out to a total of $1,153,483.10. This task order enables Molson Corbin Associates to complete the final design and supporting technical work for 3 new water storage tanks and associated system improvements that have been identified in the design analysis report, the DAR, that has been provided. The improvements include Camp Luna tank, another one at 2 million gallons with the mixer and blower improvements. Water line to the airport with a tank at 2 million with the water line extension and booster pump stations. And a Rebo tank at 2 million with water line extensions and easements requirements. These capital improvements are critical to system reliability, regulatory compliance, improved pressure zone, and future operational capacity of city's water system.
Mr.
Stand for
Mayor,
any-
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'd like to add a few comments tied to the water project. This is a project we had discussion about and received guidance to move forward. This project has to continue to have compliance with the state of New Mexico and New Mexico Environment Department. And there has been some discussions about the project, and I just wanted to say a few things on the record associated with what the city has done. So through Molson Corbin, there's a couple principals, Jonah and Doug, that have collectively have 41 years of work. Mr. Doug Alvin has that work directly working with the city of Las Vegas on water projects that run the gamut, from water line distribution to water tanks to water tank refurbishments, connected to cabin site, connected to Valencia, connected to our overall distribution system. Another comment that we received some input on as to has the city taken a look at raw water and raw water storage? And so just on the record, we have within our Bradner storage reservoir, 300 acre feet of water, which equates to 97,755,300 gallons at Bradner. And our Peterson has 200 acre feet of water for a total of 65,107 gallons, 107,200 gallons. So also the city, based on the fire impacts, based on flooding, had to invest and spend $8,543,000 to $8,543,218.30 to deal with water hauling associated with the challenges from those effects. These storage tanks will advance the storage, as you all know, and provide an additional 5 days of capacity, direct correlation to the challenges that have been faced post-fire. And so I just wanted to say those on the record. We stand for any other questions.
You guys look at the DAR that I provided, it's just a breakdown of what Molson Corbin did. If you read the second page, why additional water storage is needed, there's some points in there that the city manager just said. The increased storage for drought contingencies, backup supply in case water treatment outages or wildfire related impacts, improved fire suppression capacity, reduction of dead-end water lines which improves circulation and water quality, reduction in disinfection byproducts, especially in the east side zones, and better pressure stability across all three pressure zones, 1, 2, and 3. I stand for any questions.
Council?
Yeah.
Councilor Casey?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to thank Mr. Martinez for always providing information that is easy to read, track, and understand. And I really appreciate that because it doesn't have a lot of I can't even say it, superfluous, language in there tossed in just to, enhance it. So I appreciate it very much, and I think you've done a great job in putting everything together, explaining everything. The report from Molson Corbin is also very useful to us, I think, on the council to be able to feel comfortable about what what the tanks are going to provide for the citizens of Las Vegas and provide for possible emergencies that might occur. So I want to thank you for all of that. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Amos?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I just wanna mention that, here we are working on fencing at, at our airport. And, getting water to that location is such an important piece. And creating these distribution lines that, like you mentioned, are not dead end lines, and we have circulation within our community loop systems, as I've always mentioned. Very important. I think I read somewhere here that these water lines, I don't know if they're additional, I can't remember. I just read it yesterday, but like 83,000 gallons of water lines. Is that an accurate statement to say? Did I read that properly in here? The water lines actually contain that much water in our system. It was like 83,000 or something. I know I read it in here. I was trying to find it.
Well, I'm trying to get that in my head, but just to give you some little backup on there, the city of Las Vegas has 121 miles of water line. And
It's not enough, right?
83,000, no, you're more.
No, I
Right.
read something in reference to the gallons of water that would be in those lines. But nevertheless, it's such an important piece, especially if we're trying to structure the airport area and, it gives us an opportunity for growth. It's something that's not gonna happen maybe right away, but it gives beneficial water source to an area that didn't have it.
Yes, sir.
So, and it helps our distribution within our community. So again, as Councilor Casey mentioned, I do appreciate everything you've put on this document.
And Montoya?
Water. This subject was started by the mayor and myself probably about a year and a half ago. And we were ignored by two different administrations. I'm glad that finally somebody listened. This is what is needed in order for Las Vegas to survive for the future storage of water for Las Vegas. The tanks that we have and the locations that we have them in are good, but this additional tanks, 3 of them, 8 million gallons per tank or so, or something like that? 6 million gallons total. That will help Las Vegas by 6 days of storage, more or less. Depends on the use. The only thing that I would caution mayor and council is on the 6 properties that Mr. Martinez mentioned that we need to get a right of way for the pipeline. Is I would caution, because I know that when we did the water line to Medite from the reservoirs all across 518, we ended up paying a landowner, I think it was 20 water taps. And we gave him 20 years to utilize it. He used one or two in those 20 years. They came back to us in 20 years and they wanted to redo that contract. We allowed him one more year to use 10 taps. So I would suggest that on this right of ways, that we pay for the right of way instead of exchanging it for water. Because I would hate to do another Rio Rancho in a certain area where dislocations were gonna happen. And this is for gravity flow, and this is to circulate the water through the whole community. And these are, like the city manager said, what the engineers recommend. And, if Mayor, if there's no more discussion on this, then Mr. Liwari.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To the city manager, it's a great idea. People always talk about water sources of 50, 60 years, and we're getting water tanks in there that we need them. We need them for our community, for ourselves, and that's gonna make us great. Because this is still a small town, and I always talk about water, always. And we're getting it done. Thank you for putting that amendment on the charter and go from there. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor. I would move for the approval of the water tank project task order number 3958-23-3. Compensating for engineering design services during the design phase in the amount of lump sum of $1,153,483.10, including New Mexico gross receipt tax reimbursable. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Montoya, second by Councilor Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Casey, Counselor Olivari, Counselor Montoya, Counselor Martinez.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Montoya, second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Hey, tonight, I hope this is accurate. Mr. Travis Martinez, happy birthday. On behalf of Mayor and Council, and I think Counselor Casey will lead us in happy birthday for Travis. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, so.
Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Y a ti, querido Travis, te las cantamos así. Despierta, mi bien, despierta. Mira que amaneció. Y a los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Travis. Happy birthday to you. Y muchos más.
Thank you, Travis. Mr. Mayor. Councilman Martinez.
Yeah, Travis, I just wanted to mention that on page 4 of 7 is where it says the system will have 58,000 gallons of water in pipe. It's on page 4 of 7 on the very top.
Is that for the airport?
No, it's not. I don't think it's talking about that specifically. It's just, I just wanted to bring it to your attention
Page 4.
on the very first paragraph.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that.
Councilman,
I sort of read stuff too.
Councilman
No, I-
Montoya.
Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, is any of this refundable through FEMA?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Montoya, we can bring Deb Sulzer up to maybe help with it, but this is a permanent fix, but although it is direct, there is some direct correlation. Is there potential within would it be the claims office? Yep.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, Mr. Anaya. Yes, we've submitted a claim in the claims office. This is part of the $40 million that we're pursuing to get the rest of the 140.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Deb.
Moving on to the next item, request approval for out-of-state travel for Lieutenant David Varela on January 20th through the 21st, 2026, to Eagle River, Wisconsin.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Approval for out-of-state travel for Lieutenant David Varela.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Counselor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Montoya? Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Mr. Birthday Chief?
No. Not close.
Sorry.
Moving on to our next item, request approval to accept project agreement from the New Mexico Department of Transportation Traffic Safety Division, the amount of $18,192.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Olivari.
Mr. Marquez, you have anything on this proposal, something for our Lincoln Nights or anything down South Grand or anything like that?
What was that?
Do you have anything on this proposal for any additional lights or anything on South Grand after those big accidents we had there?
No, this is for our traffic, grant money that we received through the DOT.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is what pays the overtime, for NDWI, STEP and Buckle Up.
Mayor, I move that we approve the project agreement from the New Mexico Department of Transportation Traffic Safety Division in the amount of $18,192.
Motion by Counselor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Montoya?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving on to our final item, request approval to award and enter into contract with AECom Technical Services Incorporated for RFP 2026-04 for dams and reservoirs engineering services. Mr. Martinez.
Mayor, Council. It was actually pretty good. This contract expired. The city of Las Vegas has a contract. This is just a renewal of the contract, and we have to have the contract in by the end of the month, so that way we can keep the Peterson Dam project going.
I move that we approve the award and enter into contract with AECom Technical Services Incorporated for RFP number 2026-04 for dams and reservoirs engineering services.
By Counselor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Montoya? Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Motion by Counselor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. And before I hit the gavel, Councilman Montoya. Merry Christmas, everybody.